The government shutdown is over. Brett, 7 Democrats and 1 independent senator from Maine crossed over. What is the fallout for them within their party?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, the left is where the power is, the passion is in the Democratic Party now. And there is a lot of pushback saying they caved. That's the words they're using. John Fetterman from Pennsylvania, he's going to run for reelection. The rest are not. And it's interesting that they're not. They've decided that they were going to cross over and that this was a bad thing. Clearly, the government shutdown was having a major impact. Air traffic control, travel around the country ahead of the holidays, but then the SNAP benefits for food aid, all kinds of things. And, I think they say they made the right call for the country. The party says they gave up on the push.
Weren't they
I don't
winning?
think it,
Weren't the
that,
Democrats winning this showdown? In the end, the Democrats are supposed to lose it because, whatever party does not vote for the continuing resolution, that's the party that carries the onus of the shutdown. It gets blamed on them historically, but it seemed to me like they might have been winning the battle against the Republicans and then all of a sudden threw up the white flag.
Yeah, I think the pressure got pretty intense as far as people putting pressure, not only and inside the Democratic Party, like the unions, the military not getting paid. Then the travel really screwed things up as far as the pressure that they were feeling. Remember that this was all generated, they said, around Obamacare subsidies, because at the end of the year, these subsidies for Obamacare, the healthcare ACA, end. And it's going to increase everybody's healthcare costs. But it was put in by Democrats because the Obamacare exchange was not bringing the prices down. So they inserted these subsidies during COVID to help people with prices, but they also put a term on it and it expires. So, it's of their own making. And it's really interesting to see they had a really great election win on Tuesday, and then they had this kind of party battle on the continuing resolution, went after their own the next 2 days, and now they're trying to get their feet back on them and go forward. But the party's split. The Democratic Party is split.
It's interesting. You say John Fetterman is running for reelection, but I don't think and no one else. So, but not even Fetterman. No one's running for reelection in 2026, right? So you've
Right.
got plenty of distance between standing up and standing with your party before there would be any type of comeuppance.
That's
And
true.
so I still don't gather. And then you think, okay, wait, is there a deeper strategy here? Is this about the midterm elections, which are next? And I don't know, maybe being on the side of the people and being looked upon favorably for ending it when it comes time to win again. Because this last election was just a short one, very small one with just a few states, Virginia, New Jersey, stuff like that. But it's going to be a big one in the midterms. And does this position them better?
Yeah, well, for Fetterman, he's been running on that the entire time, saying it's practical. It's stupid to have this government shutdown. And remember, traditionally, it's the other way around, that Republicans have tried to move the needle on some policy issue, and Democrats have always said, no, you have to fund the government first. I mean, there's videotape coming out of our ears about Democrats making the case, including Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer saying, you have to fund the government. This time, they were not saying that. In part, it was about politics a little bit. It was about that off-year election. They did really, really well. They talked about affordability. And even though this Democratic Socialist, Mamdani, wins in New York, which potentially creates some problems for moderate Democrats running in 26, they have to answer for whatever he does in New York City. But that issue of affordability and that he talked about really well to hammer home that win in New York City is something that you're going to hear Democrats talk about a lot.
And Republicans. I mean, aren't
The cost of
Republicans?
things.
I've heard Trump talk about. I mean, I heard the word come out of his mouth. I mean, are Republicans looking at themselves going, "Yikes, we
Yeah,
we
they
missed the
are.
big A word."
They are. And, you'll hear the White House and the president talk about it more and more. They're going to phrase it that remember that inflation was at 9% under President Biden. We've got it down to two, a little more. We're trying to get these food prices down. Energy prices are coming down. But he hasn't really capitalized, the president, on the empathy, the I feel your pain when you're in the grocery store. I think that that's maybe where they're going to head, and he'll focus more on domestic as you get into the first quarter, second quarter of next year.
How is Trump able to he sort of direct the cutbacks, the payments that weren't going out? He punished Democrat-controlled states like more, like you could screw over Chicago, but not Florida. In all have past presidents been able to do that as effectively as he has been? Because he does. It's almost like, if you're not going to vote for me anyway, wham, I'm going to hit you and just, focus on where I can succeed.
Yeah, the White House points to there are Republican states too in the mix, but you're right. I mean, he goes after some of those cities, especially Chicago. He obviously has a battle with Gavin Newsom out in California. A number of them. I bet that there's going to be some kind of confrontation in New York. When it comes to the White House and the New York City
Like what?
mayor.
Like national
Well,
security, like with the National Guard coming in as if as
kind
they've
of
gone
like
to.
a crime thing or a clean up the streets thing, like you saw
Yeah,
in different places.
Trump loves a fight. I mean, and Zoran Mamdani saying, "I got 4 words: turn up the volume." He's taken on the king of the concrete jungle there, a man who relishes a fight. That's
Yeah.
right. This is going to
Yeah,
be.
and he's a New Yorker. He likes to mix it up, and it's going to be interesting to see. I think that Momdani is taking a lot of oxygen. He's kind of a leader now on the left and inside the party. It'll be interesting to see how Kathy Hochul, the New York governor, deals with the New York City mayor. The governor in New York has a lot more power than others do over mayors, but he can do a lot, especially when it comes to public safety and police.
I say Trump has done, a very good job of consolidating the Republican Party, where the Democrats, it seems, don't really know. It's like, okay, this progressive thing did not work. The people had a violent reaction to woke culture, cancel culture, to open borders, to all and so they swung back towards the middle a little bit. And then Zoran Mamdani wins, and they're like, oh no, wait a minute, let's go back. Now are they? So as they get going again, are they now the party of AOC and Bernie and Mamdani, or are they? They brought in Joe Biden for the very reason to put a moderate, stable, so we thought, person in there. Is it now MAGA versus the AOC Mamdani progressive left? Is that what we got?
I mean, right now, that's where the power is on the left. The Bernie Sanders, the AOCs, the Mamdanis. Those are the people that are drawing the big crowds. Those are the people that where the passion is on the left. Now, I think you have a long time to go before you get to 26 and that voting. And the party is going to battle with each other for its ideology, trying to figure out what it is. And ideally, most Democratic consultants will tell you we hope it's race by race and that they take the good ideas from the Mamdani, the focus on affordability and what people are feeling about the economy, and they use it in their own race. But once you start getting into big issues that some moderate in the middle of America, moderate Democrat who's running for Congress has to answer for what's happening about free grocery stores and buses and the police cutback in New York City, I think there's going to be some issues that draw the party apart.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching George Will with Bill Maher, and George Will put it beautifully. He said, "No, this is great. This is
Yeah,
actually great. The best thing you can do for socialism is you put it on its feet, and let people see, and then it drops off the map, for the next 20 years or so. But every once in a while, you gotta let it rear its ugly head and let it
that's
fail."
his. Yeah, that's his thought process. And politics wise, I think he probably has a point there. But for the people living in New York City, they've got to live through whatever happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And So I think it doesn't translate for the person on the street. That said, politically, Elise Stefanik is running for governor in New York, and I think because of what happened last Tuesday, she's probably better positioned to run against Kathy Hochul.
She's got a good shot. Wow.
Much better.
Much better shot than she probably would have had before. Last Republican governor was what, Pataki?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he was a middle of the road Republican. He appealed to upstate as well as some folks, especially Long Island and all that. But I think Elise Stefanik is going to be better positioned to run against New York City and make the case for the rest of the state.